You wake up and you're met with the reality that you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. You do not know what you're put on this earth to do, and you do not know what path you are supposed to take. You see somebody else and you're like, I wonder, is that the path that I'm supposed to take? No one knows the answer, and as shitty as it sounds, you're going to have to come up with the answers yourself. So, in spite of that bleak, depressing intro, I'm here to offer you some good news. That because there is no answer, you are free to choose your own. There is something that you can do to ease your anxiety, stress, and provide you and yourself with some mental clarity. Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Han, and as you can tell from the title of the video, it is journaling. Yeah, this thing right here. There is something that you can do to relieve that stress, anxiety, and answer some very important questions about yourself. Like, how do I plan to spend my existence on this earth? What are my goals? What does my future look like? Journaling has many benefits to it, and many famous people, including Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, they all use journaling. And also because maybe one day from journaling, somebody will come across your writing and be able to relate to some very real feelings. Or your ideas will go on to change the course of history in the future. Maybe, not really. Or it could be your source to mental clarity and discovering something about yourself while you are on this earth. I've watched about like 50 videos or so talking about journaling, so hopefully I can save you some time by taking all that information, condensing it into what I use every day to relieve stress, provide some mental clarity, and cure some existential dread. Maybe. If you're thinking about journaling or you don't know how to start, hopefully this video will provide you with some clarity on what you can do to start today. Number one, I use journaling for mental clarity and self-development. Don't put yourself in a box and think that you have to stick to a specific format. So everything that I'm telling you today, please use as a guideline. This is what I do after watching extensive amounts of videos. Take what works for you and use it for yourself. One of the most important things when I'm journaling is keeping an index in the beginning of the page. So that is just saving the first 1 or 2 pages to create a key for myself, leaving it blank, so that when I fill in pages of my journal, I'll be able to write down the page number in the index so I can quickly find anything that I have written down for future reference. Organization is key because if you are disorganized, you will be more discouraged from journaling. Tip number 2, when watching this video, think of each page as having a separate purpose. If you have one page for a to-do list, then keep that one page just for that to-do list. Don't mix it with other things like random thoughts. Guess you could do that. But I find it way easier to label everything in an index later on when you have your pages separated. Cool, let's get into it. So the first thing that you can do for both mental health and self-development is talk to yourself. And what I mean by talking to yourself is literally sit down, have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself questions. So ask yourself simple questions, but also ask yourself the very important questions. One of the questions that I asked myself was, what long-term goals do you want to get done in your life? So you write down long-term goals, and from there you can break it down. Like, what do I have to do to get to those long-term goals? Keep asking yourself questions. Break it down. Short-term goals. What am I going to accomplish this year that will get me to that long-term goal? So breaking that down into shorter goals and then break it down even more. Like, what do I have to do this week? And then ask yourself questions. What personality, who do I have to be to attain that goal? Then you can ask yourself, what skills do I have to learn? What habits do I have to pick up? And what habits do I want to break? Like those sorts of questions. Keep breaking it down because then you can start to create your own path based on what you want to achieve. It seems obvious, but physically writing it down does wonders to actually making it happen. And from doing this, you'll find that you'll come up with so many more questions at the end of the day. And then it just snowballs into more questions and you'll be able to figure out more things about what you believe in, who you are, and the things that you like. Take the time to learn who you are so that you can come up with your own life path and just zone in on that. The more that you understand yourself, the more that you'll be able to in turn love yourself. With everything going on, everybody like saying shit in your ears, it's hard to zone in on who you actually are. If you don't know what to ask yourself, just look on YouTube, blogs, whatever, and see what prompts people have for themselves. There's so many prompts out there that will like spark your imagination, get it going, and discovering new things about yourself. ask away. These next tips and strategies are for like targeting my mental clarity. What I do is like a mental brain dump or emotional dump. Whatever you're feeling that day, whatever thoughts just come to your mind, don't think about it. Know that nobody's gonna see this journal, so write down whatever thoughts you're having and just get it out onto paper. Doing that is just super relieving. You'll be able to get out whatever you had pent up, whatever feelings, thoughts you had just onto paper. It just feels like you're taking a mental shit. But yes,
mental shit.
That is exactly what you're doing, because you will feel like the bowels of your mind are just clear now. And it helps out a lot. This also goes off the brain dump idea, writing down whatever spontaneous thoughts or anything that you have just on paper. If you're having crazy thoughts and great ideas late at night, there's no way that you're gonna remember that when you're waking up, unless you do. Like, props to you. But for me, taking that idea, writing it down on a piece of paper so that I know it's gonna be there in the morning, kind of allows me to sleep a little easier, you know? Oh, fuck, my foot's asleep. Sitting down weird. Let's cut that. Another one for mental clarity is making a gratitude journal. I don't know how everybody else does it. There's so many things out there. People make gratitude journals super complicated. For me, I just wake up in the morning, come up with 3 things that you are just grateful for and truly grateful for, not just random stuff like, damn, I like breathing. Well, cool, you can write that, but really think about it. Just appreciate the positive things in your life. Especially now, there's so much negativity going on social media, just in your life. So you don't need that when you're journaling. Just have space for yourself to be just positive and embrace positivity. And this feeling of gratitude will seep into your life more often. You'll be able to flip this switch to see more positive things in your life, just way more easier. It's something that you need more of. Trust me, everybody does. Not just you specifically. I need that shit. Another thing for mental clarity is planning, decluttering anything that is in your mind. If you were thinking about it, you want to get it out on paper so that you can take whatever's in here and then put it back into this piece of paper and refer to it whenever you want. Because keeping it up here will make you stressed,
give you anxiety,
whatever. We don't know the future, and if you're like me, not knowing the future really stresses me out. I know I can't do shit about it. But being able to kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna do tomorrow or next week or whatever provides me with a sense of relief. There are many ways to organize this. I watched tons of videos on how other people organize their calendars into their journal. Some people do a year-long plan, some people do a month-long plan, and a week-long plan. What works for me is doing a week-long plan, taking 2 pages from the journal, splitting up my pages so that there's 7 boxes on the left-hand side, using the left side of the column to write down what I want to accomplish that day, what things I want to do, the middle column to write down just like what day of the week it is, and then the right side column to write down like what big events are happening that day or what I have to get done. Then I use the right side of the journal to just kind of write down things that I just want to get done throughout the week. From there, I could take those things and plop them into the day of the week that I want to accomplish these things. Doing that just is the best way of organization for me personally. Yeah, there are people out there that plan their whole month and have like a month calendar. Doesn't work for me. Just tried it, but feel free to do it yourself. Look up ways to actually plan. But planning provides tons of mental clarity. Sun's coming in. Here, So one way you can use a journal for self-growth is by using it to take notes. So I take notes for so many things, like whenever I watch YouTube videos that I feel like I really want to learn about, or I'm reading books, I'll save pages just to write down notes for those, indexing them, putting them at the front cover so that I can refer back to them. For me, I do a lot of videography and photography, so I watch a ton of tutorials. So watching a tutorial, I can say what the topic was, put it at the front of my index, so whenever I want to go back and refer to like specific techniques or something, I can go back super easy and just like keep track of everything that I have learned. Another way is habit tracking. There's a lot of ways to do this. This goes into asking yourself questions. What habits do I want to learn? And what habits do I want to take and just like get rid of? Figuring out what you want and don't want, you can figure out what habits you want to create, and there's tons of ways to create habit trackers. The way that I do it is I pick the habits that I want, just draw out a number for each day in the calendar, and then just cross off whenever I actually do that habit. or don't do the habit, depending on what you want. So again, this goes into asking yourself questions and checking in with yourself, deciding what goals you want to accomplish, long-term, short-term, super short-term. So writing those down physically, I feel like I have been able to attain those goals way more easily. And I've been able to do like crazy things that I never feel like I could have done if I didn't physically keep track of it and write them down. Taking your thoughts and putting your thoughts onto paper is almost like an action. You're taking an action, you're taking a step towards that goal, and it just helps you build momentum for reaching it. That depends on what you want to attain in life. You're the only person that knows what that is. If you don't know, if you're confused, then use the first part of this journal to figure out what those things are. Then you can start to plan things, because there's no point in planning, setting goals if they're just random. Thank you guys for watching. If this video helped you in any way, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos. I do videos on self-development, photo, and video. If you are into any of those things, definitely subscribe. There's gonna be more things. I'm gonna try to post every week. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to DM me. Channel's not huge yet, so I'll definitely get around to your questions. But yeah, thank you, and keep journaling, and we will get through this existential dread together. I'll see you guys in the next video.